Well, when we last left you, it was November 1st, 2022. We crowned a new champion at the time. We're expecting another season to kick off. And then the dark times, the dark days. And we went without broadcasting, but the league still pressed on and completed with a Season 5. Now we've jumped to Season 6. The skies have brightened, and we're back to broadcasting again. IndyCar racing here on iRacing. Back to the Formula Indy Series, one of our signature series here on the channel. Welcome, everyone. I am Gary Gotso, the voice of the FIS, and this is RaceVerse coverage of Round 1 of the Formula Indy Series, coming to you from Zandvoort, Round 1 of Season 6. Joining me once again in the booth for expert analysis, because this guy knows road courses way better than I do, from the NHR esports team in the Lionheart IndyCar Series presented by Buckhager. Even though they're not running again this year, we'll still give them props, is Steven Larkamp. Steven, it's been so long, and now we see a great field tonight, and on top of that, we're going to have 40 cars on an incredibly, well, not incredibly short road course, but this is not one of the longer ones. Traffic is going to play a major issue in today's race.
Absolutely true. Circuit Zandvoort has never really been accused of being a track where it's easy to pass and easy to find space, and that's definitely going to be the case here. Even though this is the newer version of Zandvoort that we are starting to get more used to, since it of course came back as the home of the Formula One Dutch Grand Prix. You can probably take a guess who the winner and favorite driver there is every time.
No.
Yeah, pretty much. But Zandvoort is definitely a fantastic circuit. I always have a lot of fun racing here. Doesn't matter if it's the old version or the new. This track right on the shores of the North Sea in the Netherlands is always a blast. And to say nothing of the fact that there's going to, like you said, 40 cars, 40 Indy cars, twice the size of a Formula One grid is going to be going out there on the virtual Zandvoort tonight. This is going to be quite something, I think.
So, question for you. If you win a championship and there's no one around to see it, did you win a championship?
Yes, I'll definitely say that, because I mean there are plenty of races and series out there that don't really have
we're just giving Caleb Benzie a hard time here. He is the #1 car. He is the defending champion after season after season after season of finishing in the top 5, the top 3, the top 2. Finally brought one home for his Stowe Motorsports team, and we're watching him right now do some qualification laps with 6:25 left to play. And we'll watch him do another one here too. I was given some test laps, test footage to show for race laps or laps around this place. But I personally think just watching one of the guys qualify is probably the better way to go here. Watching Caleb Benzie. But while he is on the screen, and we'll get the rest of these graphics off really quick, we'll bring up last season's points. Boom, there you go. Caleb won 483 to 411 over Bruno Miranda. Chris Hill finished third, 356. Nate Seifert finished fourth with a 311. And Gavin Sanders, the inaugural champion of the FIS, finished fifth with 289 points. The remainder of the top 10, J.J. Wang, Nicholas Johnston, Dakota DeMay, Cody Claiborne, and Kirk Lane. Some of those names you've heard before here on the program. That was your top 10. Moving to the team points, because they do have a team championship still here in the FIS. The FBR Motorsports team by TWR won pretty narrowly in that category. 667 over Team RaceVerse with Stowe Motorsports at 591. Then my old team, Team Kamigoya Sunset Arctic, at 519, finished third, and Team Fish finished fourth with 426 points. And Race Factor Duo presented by TWR finished fifth, 1 point behind Team Fish at 425. So that is just bringing you up to speed from what happened during the dark days, the dark times, when there was no broadcasting. But we are here to bring you an entire season schedule for this upcoming season of the FIS. We're starting off here today at Circuit Zandvoort, 47 laps. Next week, we will go to the House of Stowe, which is Mid-Ohio Sports Car Course, for 55 laps, then Long Beach. Then we're going to take some time off. Then we're going to come back to go to Canadian Tire Motorsports Park. That's Gavin Sanders' home turf there on April 11th. Brands Hatch on April 18th. Belle Isle Street Course on April 25th. Then only one event the entire month of May here for the FIS, and it's appropriate. It's their one and only visit to the Indy Oval on May 16th, and then they will go to Mugello on June 6th, Interlagos on June 13th, and rounding out the season at everyone's favorite IndyCar road course, Road America, on June 20th. Let's bring up the stats back on screen, see where we got people qualifying. Anybody strike your fancy for what you see?
Well, I'm still loading into the session right now. Just some technical difficulties before that, but got them resolved. I'm going to be back in there. But I have little doubt tonight that it's going to be quite the show, especially with all these drivers here. And just to give some sense of how small a circuit we have to deal with here. As far as Formula One circuits go, Zandvoort is one of the smaller ones out there at 2.646 miles, 4.2 kilometers. That's fairly big by some standards, but one of the key things is how narrow it is. And that also plays dividends in qualifying. You have got to be inch perfect in a lot of places here. And to say nothing of holding on and to say nothing of holding on for dear life in some of the chicanes. And also, of course, now turn 14, I definitely love what I see there. IR18, they call it, named after the two-time Indy 500 champion, of course, from the Netherlands,
but never won on a road course.
Never won on a road course. Amazing for a Dutchman. And that corner is now named in his honor. That high banked turn 14 kind of gives you sort of deja vu back to when Formula One raced at Indianapolis in the 2000s, doesn't it?
Yeah, but those turns are banked like Michigan, and Indianapolis, that's twice the banking Indianapolis had in their corners, but still a very high-speed corner in the final corner. We're watching Caleb trying to improve his time. He is just off the pace of the season 4 champion, Mitch Welker, who ran part of season 5, but not completed it all. So we got a real battle of the champions at the top between Welker, Sanders, and Bensi, all in the top 3 spots there, each former champions of the FIS, with about a minute 48 left to play. Let's see, what else we got? We got anybody else out here making some laps? I suspect overlays will be slow with all the... there's Mitch Welker. He's out there making some laps.
Yeah, with all the data they have to sift through here, it's going to be difficult here. I've seen Cody Claiborne moving himself up into 9th position after that lap. 119.2 for the number 31 machine, just ahead of former series champion in his own right, Nate Siefker.
Yeah, and Cody might not like this stat, but he has the most starts in FIS history without a win. He has 52 starts, no wins, but we give him all the credit in the world for showing up every week and deciding that he's going to compete to his best of his ability. But 52 starts, no wins. Caleb Bensi's next in line with 51 starts. Of course, he has 6 wins in league competition. The overall league winner or league leader in wins is Mitch Welker with 11, with an incredible 73% win percentage. So seeing Mitch Welker at the top is probably the last thing a lot of these guys really want to see with 30 seconds left to play here in qualifying.
Yeah, and there's no doubt seeing that time Mitch Welker picked up where he left off a couple of seasons back, and it really just shows how resilient a lot of these drivers are. They keep racing these cars even during the dark times that we all had to suffer through, and they still enjoy these cars. They still know what Indy means, as we love to say, and Mitch Welker definitely does. He loves this car. Gavin Sanders, Caleb Bensi, I can't think of any one of these drivers who has not missed the chance to broadcast what they can do in these cars, some of the best cars on the surface, in my humble opinion.
Well, and I agree with that opinion, but I'm 100%, no, 1,000% biased on that one. So what we got going on here.
Oh my.
So what we got going on here, just a reminder that they're doing a 5-minute warm-up, and this is at the request of us because they do standing starts here, so no pacing lap. So we have time to read the starting lineup. So this is what they're doing. They're allowing us to get a chance to get the starting lineup in, which we will do right now from Zandvoort. Round 1 FIS. Go ahead.
And on the pole, a familiar face for sure. In the 76 of Mitchell Welker, former series champion, of course. A 1:18.524, very fast lap here. Alongside him, only 2 100ths off is the number 10 of Gavin Sanders. Always a threat on any road course he's put on. I'm going to be keeping an eye on him for sure. Caleb Bensie, the defending series champion, the number 1 machine, will start 3rd. He'll be alongside Hunter Engrabs, number 49. Tanner DeFabis in the 11 will start off 5th alongside Titus Sherlock's number 331 machine in 6th place. Kevin Bonomi in the 75 will start off 7th alongside Logan Spath, another name I recognize. In the number 3, he'll start 8th. Cody Claiborne will start 9th in the 31, rounding out the top 10. Former series champion Nate Siefker in the number 2. Nagisa Yoshikawa in the 198 will start 11th alongside Michael Costello's number 8 in 12th. Drew Schutz, I hope I'm pronouncing that correctly. I'm probably not. His number 20 machine will be 13th. He'll be alongside our old friend of the show, Dakota DeMade, in the number 82. That's P14. Matt Schlosser's number 400 will start 15th alongside Byron Daly's number 66. Sebastian Gianni in the number 5. He'll be 17th alongside Sam McDougall's number 13. AJ Digby in the 81 will be 19th. Rounding out your top 20, the 404, though thankfully he has been found, Matt Johnston will be 20th right now. I'm sure you got the reference there. Matthew Short in the 35 will be 21st, alongside Alexei Savelyev in the 27. Also, I should note, Matt Schlosser, I believe, is the fastest of the drivers in the amateur class. That is the 15th place driver. Savalchev is also in the amateur division. Sahaj Padiyar in the 72 will be 23rd alongside Joey Selmans' number 9. Frankie Francicia, a breakout star a couple of seasons back in the 98, will start 25th alongside Zach Flom in the 22. Dan Morea's 444 will be 27th alongside the 19 of Ross Harlow. Rounding out your top 30, Kyle Allen's number 999 and Mario Capolucci's number 28. Jared Wakefield in the 725 will be 31st alongside the 4 of Dan Miglin, another familiar face. And Tomas Rubial's number 33 will be alongside friend of the show, Indica Scarlett, in the number 64. Andy Oak in the 906 will be starting 35th place alongside Ty Richter's number 55. Hayden Herman will be in the 77 machine tonight, starting 37th, alongside Zach Reardon in 38th in the number 36. Rounding out the top 40, Felipe Salvino in the 97, alongside Fabian Saavedra in the 40, and Christopher Kresge, the 777, one of the series hosts, of course, will be 41st officially, though not sure if we'll be seeing, though I think he's going to be more of a managerial duty there. I could be wrong, of course.
All right, and we got it all in here with a minute left to go. That's how big that field was. But yes, so we got the P's that you see next to their name. Those are the pros, and the A's next to their name. Those are the amateurs. And go ahead, and we got a little time here. Explain the difference between how each one is determined.
So the main thing going into determining that league position is the I rating of the drivers coming into it in the open wheel category. If you're over 2,000 I rating, you are in the P class, which is pro. Below 2,000, you are in the A class, which is amateur. It's something I've seen in other leagues before. In fact, I actually raced in a league during the dark times in Formula 3, in fact, where they did that sort of arrangement. I believe the threshold there was actually about 1,500 to be pro class and below 1,500 to be amateur. And even then, we saw a fair number of drivers in the amateur division, and it was still good racing too, because a lot of those guys were more league drivers than they were official. Official really wasn't their thing, but it didn't stop them from putting on great performances, and I'm sure we're going to see more of them tonight.
All right, so while we grid up here, and we'll get the cameras on as soon as people start gridding up on the main straight. There we go.
Everyone's starting to get themselves into position.
So as we start lining up, help us keep all this good positive momentum with the channel, and IndyCar is returning back to RaceVerse. So you enjoy RaceVerse coverage of the Formula Indy Series and respect the stream. Please do us a solid. Make sure you support us by subscribing, and while you're at it, don't forget to smash like and click the bell so don't miss out on future RaceVerse iRacing broadcasts, including more races here on the FIS. As more are drawing in, we're getting ready to go.
Everyone's saying their good wishes to everyone else. We'll see how well that goodwill lasts. But we are very definitely back with the Formula Indy Series, and oh boy, does it feel good. Rebs coming up. Waiting for the lights. And the season is on. We are back in Formula Indy. Mitch Welker with a fantastic start. Gets away from Gavin Sanders. Now coming under pressure. Hunter Engrove to the inside of Caleb Penske as they head into Tarzan for the first time. Welker already trying to gain momentum on everyone else as Penske and Engrove try to go side by side for third. Everyone trying to sort themselves out going through Hugenholtz. High banked left-hander there. You gotta be a very tricky situation there in those cars, but everyone makes it through fairly well. The front has gotten through fine. Down to the fast right-hander. And another fast right-hander coming up here.
Go, big wreck in the back. Big wreck in the back.
Oh, problems.
Oh, and they're just piling up.
Oh, massive wreck. So many cars, I could barely count them all. But some of them still limping around with no front wings and with damaged suspension.
Sebastian Gianni, I believe, is one of them.
And they throw the caution for it.
Matthew Short is a one as well. Byron Daly is in the pits. Dan Miglin in the pits. Zach Reardon in the pits. Saavedra in the pits. So let's go back to see what happened here as while we're under. This is one of the rare cautions, but I believe now that they have a live body and timing and scoring and doing admin duties, they're going to be able to do a lot of these duties here. And that is a right call.
Yeah, definitely a good call there.
And it starts right here with, I believe, Sebastian Gianni. And we'll get a higher image of this here from the RaceVerse 1 airship. He's already got a busted back wing, and now he loses downforce, comes around, and just starts collecting. I think Matthew Short was the next one. Another car flips, and they start piling up.
Yeah, that was just... And what a bad place to do it as well. It's one of the narrowest parts of the circuit. And if something were to go wrong there, he tried his level best to get out of the way, but it just was not enough, and it caused a massive wreck there. And
let's see what
because
happened.
of how close it was, everyone just ping-pongs into him.
Okay, so out of the signature corner, he had a car, well, it almost looked like netcode caused the damage on his car, and then I don't think he knew. I don't think he had enough time to know.
Yeah. I mean, he may have got an idea that the rear wing was damaged, but not flopping off the car there. Because that's really easy to miss when, especially in a situation where you don't have a human spotter above you. All you get is the iRacing spotter saying your rear wing is damaged, but how damaged is it? I think we may have just saw the far extreme of what can happen there. You pretty much have no rear wing at all, and you are just holding on for dear life on that car.
Let's check chat here. Mad Mike, I think he's spotting the night. He's one of our human spotters. Good to have him back. Doug South, 404 nerd. All right.
Yeah, well, I had a feeling someone was going to catch up to that one.
Well, we have 47 laps to go tonight, or to do tonight. We'll bring up the track map for those of you not familiar with the course. So really what the problem happened is out of corner 1 and 2, there was that 3 tight corner, which is that 3 very high bank corner, turn 3. And then I believe between 3 and that kink and 4 is where the netcode contact happened that caused him to lose the back wing, and then kind of all piled up going into 5 or so. So looking at pit road, we have Byron Daly there still serving time. Dan Miglin, Padahar is, Reardon there is, Saavedra, and I am showing Chris Kresge there. I don't know if he's doing admin from the car, but so that's 36, 37, 38, 39th, 40th, and 41st. So we still have 35 cars. Last car running is AJ Digby, who does need to stop, and I think he's trying not to. Indica Scarlet is in the same boat there, needs a front wing. Gianni still needs to stop. He needs a new front nose and rear wing. I believe they're waiting maybe for the pits to open. That might be why. Franchica also shows damage. Ross Harlow, we'll see how he comes around the corner. He has a front wobbly nose. Andy Oak in 30th looks together, but it looks like a bunch of cars coming in. Yeah, a bunch of cars are coming in to start playing the fuel mileage game on a different strategy.
Yeah, and one of those is former second-place runner now Gavin Sanders coming onto pit road. Interesting call from the number 10 crew here. We'll see what tires he has put on. He has put on the hard compound black tire, so he's going to be going for a long run here. For those of you unfamiliar with the IndyCars on road courses, of course, we have 2 different tire compounds that we use. The black sidewall hard compound tire, which lasts quite a bit longer, but can be a bit slower. And the soft compound red sidewall tires, which are fast for a little while, and then they can start to fall off. And falling off, I'm looking at Gavin Sanders, just coming back into traffic here. He is falling well down the field because of this. This is going to be an interesting strategy call from the RaceVerse crew. I'm curious to see how well this one will play out. It's definitely a bit of a gamble, I would think.
All right, lights are out on the pace car, so we will go green next time by. An incredible lap by Hayden Herman, who's set the purple lap at a 3 minute 4 seconds, 0.447 seconds a lap.
Maybe that's a new track record. I doubt it. Speaking of track record, so the qualifying laps we had here for this race were 1:18.5s for our pole sitter Mitch Welker and for second place Gavin Sanders. The race lap record here at the new version of Zandvoort was set by Lewis Hamilton, 1:11.097 in 2021 in his Mercedes during the Dutch Grand Prix, of course.
So 7 seconds faster. Not surprising, but that's you don't typically the gap is not that big on a lot of tracks anymore. But that's one of the bigger gaps that I can recall between IndyCar and Formula One. Let's reset the field here, though. We see Welker, Ingrid, Bensi, DeFabus, Sherlock, Costello, Spath, Siefker, Yoshikawa, and Bonomi. Hopefully getting saying this right. If we're saying your name wrong, just let us know in the FIS Discord, and we'll make sure we'll clean that up for next week when we go to the next race at Mid-Ohio, or as I like to call the House of Stowe. Of course, those are the Stowe guys at Stowe Motorsports there. It's Caleb Bensi in P3 and his teammate. They're both from that area. That's their home track. But we're getting ready to go green here in about a quarter of a lap.
Yep, as we're waiting to go down into the chicane here. And one thing I'm definitely going to be keeping an eye on here. Welker is starting off this race on the soft tire. Behind him, Hunter Engrav is running on the hard tire, Bensi on softs. So there's definitely a diversity of tire choice so far in the early going in this race. So I'm going to be curious to see which one has the right rubber on the car for the right time here. It's definitely not going to be one of those races where you're going to be just running one ultimate strategy and then you go for it.
Here we go. Coming through the high Michigan-style banking of the final corner under the command of Mitchell Welker. Mitch Welker just momentarily waiting for that pace car to give him full control. It makes the jump. Here we go.
Waiting on it, waiting on it, waiting on it. Green flag in the air. Really bunched up the field there as they head down towards turn 1, down to the Tarzan hairpin. Engrave having a look everywhere he can. Bensi now trying to take a run around the outside. Here comes DeFabis trying to make a move as well.
Looks like Michael Johnston.
Matt
Johnson, nope. Not sure who that was, but it was a blue car. There it is. Michael Costello missing the front wing. He got another car sideways coming out of 3.
Oh, dear. Everyone's scrambling to get out of the way of a nearly spinning car there, but it looks like a lot of them have recovered, and we're clean and green to go for most of them, though some of them, I think, may be suffering some damage. Welker.
This is exactly what he wants to see. He wants to see all this carnage because he's got those...
Bensi to the inside, diving it on Hunter Engrave. Engrave going to defend it on the inside into the left-hand hairpin here. But Bensi round the outside. Oh, big tag slapper. And he loses the position to Tanner Fabis in the process. Fabis now trying to have a look going into the chicane. But a big bobble there for Caleb Bensi. Not at all what he wanted there.
Yeah, Welker wanted to see all this. Welker's on the alternate tires. That's what we'll call the reds, either the red sidewall tire, the reds or the alternates. He wants to get away as quickly as possible to build up that pit delta when he does make a stop past 4 P2 on the front stretch.
Here comes Tanner DeFabis having a look to the inside now through Tarzan. Side by side. And DeFabis moving up into P2. 2 positions gained in 1 lap. And now Bensi coming back trying to get some vengeance here.
Here's Logan Spath. He's joining this battle. He's in the other Stowe car. He is P6. So we got a bit of a 1-car breakaway. Then 2nd, 3rd, 4th, 5th, and 6th all together. And then P7 being led by Yoshikawa. Right behind him is Drew Sush. I hope I'm saying that right. And Matt Johnston, who I thought possibly was in that wreck, but he was not. He is clean and, well, yellow. He's in that Penske throwback there. Not really a throwback. It's just more of one of their sponsors, other liveries they use during the NTT season. He is 9th. And Sam McDougall there also has worked his way into the top 10, up 8 spots. Johnston up 11. McDougall up 8. Look at this guy right here in 11th. Jared Wakefield up 20 spots.
Beautiful. 31st to 11th.
Oh,
what a drive so far. Oh. Uh-oh. Thought I saw some smoke there for a second.
Oh, he missed. Okay, so going into the chicane here, and he got punted. He got punted.
Oh. Unbelievable.
But it doesn't look like he's damaged any worse for wear other than losing positions. So
exactly.
He's fallen back into the Yoshikawa's grips. So up front now, it's Welker. Now leader by 2.9 seconds. So he's doing what he wants to do right now. Tanner DeFabis, he is P2. And he has built himself up a little bit of a buffer over Ingrave. And Spath now has avoided all the carnage and has worked his way up to 4th.
Good drive for Logan Spath so far. Very calm and collected drive for the number 3 machine so far. But one thing I'm definitely keeping an eye on with Hunter Engrave in particular, because he's running on those hard tires, I expect him to come a bit more to life later on in this race and really make a stride later on in the going here.
Here's a battle between 9th and 10th.
Engrave almost got into the dirt there, going through the chicane there. Very easy to misjudge your braking point there. But battle on for 8th place. Sam McDougall, the leader in the amateur division so far, running in 9th position. Great run there by the 13 machine. 2nd place in that division right now.
He's going to make a run. He's going to make a run at 8th spot here, coming down the main straight. Johnson puts a little bit of a block. Look on the outside, go a long way. Johnston overshoots a little bit. Here we go, over-under.
Here comes the over-under. Sam McDougall trying to get the run there. Not quite enough. Johnston holds on. But fantastic drive so far by Sam McDougall.
Good run off the corner there.
Really showing the flag for the amateur division that just because they have A in the name doesn't mean they're any slouches.
So this is the first time, at least when we've been broadcasting the FIS that we've had the two different divisions, the pro and the amateur. But it's interesting to see, and it looks like it brought in some more drivers as well. The field turnout, I have not seen a 40-car IndyCar field in a very, very long time.
Yeah, like that's the sort of stuff you expect to see for pole day and bump day at the Indy 500, and not so much a race. But I'm looking at this tussle here. McDougal really
battle on
putting
the
the heat
racetrack right
on
now.
Johnston. Greatest, best battle on the track, definitely. And I'm looking right behind them as well. Look who's starting to catch back up again. Gavin Sanders has moved his way up into 10th. First of the drivers who has come in for a pit stop under that safety car.
So did he, I don't recall what he started on.
I believe he started on reds.
He did.
As Johnston overshot the corner. Lost out the position to Sam McDougal. He recovers well, though. But a position loss there, just overcooked it a little bit into the Tarzan hairpin, and that's a position loss for Matt Johnston. We'll see if he can catch back up to that.
I'm going to bring him back in the grips of Gavin. So Gavin decided really quickly to get off the alternate tires and to get on to the primes, and it looks like he might have changed strategy with the full course caution to go way long on this run right here.
Could very well have been the case here, and it seems like that says to me that Sanders seems to be pretty confident on the hard tire, especially later on in the going. And for long runs like this, you're definitely going to need that. And he's been making up positions hand over fist, and he's getting himself the clean air that he desperately needs. Looking at lap times between them, Sanders last time by with a 22.4. McDougal also with a 22.4 on that last lap. It may well change after that little tussle with McDougal and Johnston. But Sanders trying to make up any sort of spots he can and keeping pace with the guys around him on the soft tires. So if he's going to be running this fast on softs, I'm going to be curious to see what he can do on hard tires, I should say. If he's doing this on hards, I think he's going to be doing pretty well on softs, but he's going to try and minimize how much time on softs as possible. I think it means he's going to be worried about tire wear on them.
All right, so getting out of chat, looks like the full course caution was an iRacing full course caution. So,
really?
Miracles never cease.
That's incredibly rare. I think I've only seen that once in a race I've ever done, and I want to say it was a league race. I forget which one, but I think it was at Montreal. I just forget which league it was in, but it is incredibly rare to see an iRacing full course caution on a road course. For those of you not too familiar with how their caution systems work, usually on road courses they just throw local yellows, and it's pretty much advisory only. It's just say, hey, a car lost it here.
Yeah.
Just avoid them. But here, they just bunched everyone up on the safety car, and the admins did not throw it. Very rare, but interesting when it does.
Get some camera shots and some other drivers. There's Dakota the Maid, former champion of the Revolution Indy League. But back up front, the man with a 73% winning percentage, and that means he wins 73% of the time. Every time he enters a race, it's 73% of the time. He is expected to win, and he is currently at the front of the pack right now, experiencing the back of the pack now.
Yep, starting to catch up to lap traffic here. That is
Andy Oak.
Andy Oak in the 906 machine lets him go there. Andy Oak running 5 laps down. He was definitely involved in that earlier incident that brought out the caution. Very unfortunate for him. But Welker, with over a 5-second gap, he is in cruise control mode right now. And for him, cruise control is really fast. DeFabis has gotten himself about a 2-second gap right now over Logan Spath up to P3. He's gotten around Hunter Engrav, who seems to be struggling a little bit so far on the hard compound tire compared to Logan Spath. Spath with a 20.8, Engrav with a 21.2, and he's it seems comparable to a lot of other guys on the hard tire there. I'm guessing it's still at the point where the softs for a lot of these guys are still viable for them.
Yeah, Logan Spath in third. We missed his maiden win back in the dark days. Shortly after the ruling went out that we could no longer broadcast races by iRacing IndyCar races in the RAL, he got his maiden win at Talladega, which that would have been a nice race, fun race to call. You and I both have experience calling IndyCar races at Talladega, and he's been racing for a long time to get that win. Would have been nice to have that broadcast so you could show the world, but at least we're going to tell everyone about it. He gets the win and gets the position, not for position, but just the track position over Andy Oak. Andy Oak, well, that is not good for Hunter Ingrave because he got into the back of Oak and has now lost one of his front wings.
Oh, no. And that's the worst right now for Hunter Ingrave, and Caleb Bensi now all over his gearbox at the moment, and I'm sure he can feel how understeery the car is now, but he's going to defend anyway. Oh, he's let him go anyway. And I'm sure going through cars
Mitchell Welker on pit road. So he did a scheduled stop while we were watching this. So Welker in on pit road.
And he's going on to hards on lap number 12 here.
And Drew Zouch is also on pit road as well. So two among the top 10 taking their first stop here at lap 12. So we would suspect probably maybe lap 24 for the next stop for these guys. I don't know. But we do know that Mitch Welker and Mad Mike are always working at strategy-wise. So I would imagine they probably might go short on the first stop and then long. We'll see. But they're always working the strategy, and they're typically rock solid. So that turns the lead over to Tanner DeFabis. He is your leader. Logan Spath moving him up to second. Caleb Bensi, one of the other. They're the two Stowe cars I was telling you about. He is now third. Hunter Ingrave may not know he has a busted front wing. Sometimes you can't tell. If you have a spotter, they could tell you, a human spotter. I don't know. And look how wide that turn is. Yeah, he's struggling. I don't know if the computer spotter will always tell you that you're missing a front wing. If you're driving a VR, you can actually sit up and look forward a little bit to see if you have a wing. But a lot of times people don't know. So he is still holding on.
Still holding on to fourth place at the moment, and I think what he's just trying to do here is just try and run it as long as he thinks he can here.
And both the Stowe boys stopped, by the way. So Spath and Bensi both stopped. So we're changing spots here in the top 5 real quick. Ingrave now with the broken wing is P2. I think he's trying to maybe hang on for his stop. Yoshikawa very quietly in the Watson team Watson's car. He is P3. Sam McDougall, he's worked his way up to 4th, and Sanders on McDougall's 6th right now, trying to get up that position now. Sanders, remember, he's on a separate strategy. McDougall still has to stop. Sanders already made a stop, so Sanders might just be biding his time here to get by the position. And Mitch Welker is back out. There is Mitch Welker.
And Sanders was over a second a lap faster than McDougall on the previous lap there. Not sure if traffic was involved or not, but it could well be at the crossover point where the hard compound tire is going to be coming into its own as a damaged car limping around there next to that battle for 6th position. Lets them go just fine there, but he is severely damaged. I wasn't sure who that was, but I'm keeping a close eye on this battle here.
Salvino, maybe? Felipe Salvino? Yes, Salvino. Yeah. Trying to bring that home. Had an incident earlier portion of the lap. So go in and maybe get that fixed. It might be day done. I don't think we have fast repairs in this league.
No, I don't think so. I don't remember seeing them when we last raced here, and I already see a fair amount of DNF so far. I see Byron Daly out, Frankie Franchicha out, Fabian Saavedra out, Matthew Short's out, Sahaj Padiyar is out. Good number of drivers suffering damage early on in that incident, and that was enough to take them out of not just out of contention but out of the race. I think they know as well as anyone that if there's no fast repairs, then it's just up to the roll of the proverbial dice, as it were, for the damage on the car.
Racing the racetrack instead of racing the drivers in front of. Anyways, we got Joey Clements. He is also one of the Team Stowe group. He is currently in 9th. Jared Wakefield is moved his way up to 8th now. 23 spots have improved. Johnston in the 404. He has found himself. He is P13. Mitch Welker, that's going to be the ongoing joke, I think. Mitch Welker, after his stop, moved around. Johnson moved up to 6th. Now he's just waiting for people in front of him to pit. Engrave on pit road.
Engrave finally giving up the ghost here, and this is going to be at least 5 seconds add on to his pit stop for a front wing change. Definitely not what he wanted at all so far. This is going to be a pretty hard hit. It's not insurmountable, of course. He's still going to be in contention for a good result. It's not going to be the P4 that he started out this race at least at the moment. But down and away he goes on lap 15, sticking with the hard compound tire. And fuel predictions, from what I saw when I had a look at the predicted fuel numbers, be about 20 to 21 laps you could probably get out of these cars.
All right, so stopping a little bit early for everybody. Gavin now on the back of McDougall. Gonna probably get the pass here. He can bide his time.
Sanders having a look. He's going to be on the outside for the start of the chicane here. Still sticks it round the outside on Sam McDougall. McDougall holds tough, though.
Nice job, guys.
Big twitch there from McDougall. Holds on to it well.
And a very interested party right behind them.
Mitch Welker is caught back up to this battle as around the outside goes Gavin Sanders around the Ari Lyndike corner. And here comes, as McDougall now dives on the pit road, and here comes Mitch Welker. This is going to be... This is effectively Sanders jumping Welker on the pit cycle, but Welker has got a head of steam underneath him. Let's see how long it may take for him to get around him here. I know Sanders is going to be putting up a fight as well as anyone.
Yeah, Sanders stopped on lap 3, so he's 13 laps into his current stint.
And what's really interesting to me here is Welker's, of course, pitted, so is Sanders. But the thing here is that Sanders jumped him. Even like you looked at Welker's pace early on there, Sanders was pretty much matching it and bettering it while in a pack of cars there. That probably shows just how strong Sanders has of a race car underneath him at the moment.
If you go ahead.
No, go ahead.
If you're just joining us, this is RaceVerse coverage of the Formula Indy Series coming to you from Zandvoort. We completed 16 of 47 scheduled laps. Thanks for watching. Don't forget to smash the like button and subscribe and ring the bell for future notifications. And boy, we got lots of other racing going on here on RaceVerse, so be sure to check us out. But again, thanks for joining us. Round 1 of the FIS. Good to be back. Good to have them back.
Great to be back too, and it's great to see that the series is not letting us down in the slightest. Nagisa Yoshikawa has assumed the race lead on the pit stop cycle at the moment, but Gavin Sanders and Mitch Welker fighting for the effective lead at the moment here. Sanders with a slight edge. Welker looking everywhere he possibly can, trying to pick his moment. Running well up on the curb there, really close to the grass of the number 76 machine. He is looking for any possible opportunity, but it's really hard to pass here at Zandvoort. You gotta pick your moment. You really have to here.
Yeah, not on just a couple of passing zones here at best.
Pretty much, yeah. And one of the obvious ones is turn 1. Another one would be going into a chicane that these two are going to be coming up to at the moment. You can make some diving passes into the left-hander that they're going through at the moment, but depends on how confident you are in both yourself and the guy you're fighting with.
Welker falls back a little bit. I'm wondering maybe if he's saying, you know what, if I can't pass you, I know you have to stop. So if I just keep the heat on you, I'll just pass you anyways when you duck into the pits here sometime in the next whatever laps. But Yoshikawa is staying out.
Yeah, Yoshikawa still keeping it out there on those old hard compound tires in that 198 machine. He started 11th, worked his way up to the lead at the moment on lap 18. I'm expecting him in a couple of laps at this point. But a good drive so far by the 198. And not running too far off the pace of the two drivers giving him chase at the moment, Gavin Sanders and Mitch Welker. And Matt Johnston, we found the 404 in 4th position at the moment. And Jared Wakefield, again, 31st to 5th. What a run so far for the 725.
And that is, I believe, a teammate to Mitch Welker. So that team running very, very strong. And then Joey Selments, he is P6. Matt Schlosser, P7. We haven't called him out very often, but there he is, and the old mother. Logan Spath is now, after his pit stop, has been holding off his teammate Caleb Bency in 9th, and Cody Claiborne in the fish car. So we got a kind of he just got passed by DeFabis.
Yeah, DeFabis took it around the outside going into the chicane. Beautiful move by the number 11.
But good to see the fish car back.
Indeed it is. Great to see us having to call in on the fish car once again, and a great run right now for him.
No, you got to say it right. It's the fish car.
The fish car. Yeah. Great to be back, man. Great to see you again, Cody. And a solid run for him so far. Running 11th at the moment, started 9th. A solid result here, especially in as packed a field as we have. And really been a great show for a lot of these drivers here tonight. And it's really showing the talent level that we see, not just in this league, but in the IndyCar community in general. You get some of the best and brightest on the surface that, in a lot of ways, outside of the community and outside of open wheel circles, don't really get as much credit, I think.
Yeah, Battle for 12. We're watching Ingrid with the new front nose on the back of Kyle Allen, who we haven't really talked about yet either. Kyle Allen up 17 spots in the 999.
Yeah, great run so far by the 999. Kyle Allen, this is one of those drivers picking off spots where he can. Unfortunately for him, he's got a very fast car in Hunter and Grab, harassing his backside at the moment in this battle for 12.
Oh, car sideways in the chicane area.
And that's Allen dives over the grass.
DeFabis.
Tanner DeFabis. And Kyle Allen gets punted.
Into the Kyle Allen. And the Kyle Allen. And so DeFabis is now going to have to stop. Dakota DeMade manages to capitalize off the damage, move him up to 12th. Siefker, he's not been having a great race in terms of Nate Siefker status. He is up to 14th. Yeah. I do want to give this man a shout out if I can momentarily. Dan Marrera in the 15th spot in the 444. He's up 12 spots. This man is my hero. He is from Costa Rica. And as many of you might know, I think I told a couple of you, not everyone knows, but my father recently was stuck in Costa Rica. Long story short, basically he got sick while on a cruise ship, and they basically kicked him off the boat there in Costa Rica, and in the process he lost his phone. This man was a lifesaver. I hit him up on a DM and I said, "Hey man, you live in Costa Rica, right?" He says, "Yeah." I said, "My dad's in the hospital there." And not only did he go see my dad, but we hooked him up with a new phone and everything. He was my lifesaver there. He was my eyes and ears in Costa Rica. So these are the bonds that sim racing builds sometimes. So I have a world of thanks to this guy. Probably owe him Indy 500 tickets. I know I owe him Indy 500 tickets, but he will forever be known as my hero when we bring him onto the broadcast.
Dan is your man, and what a bro move, I'll say, for Dan Marrera. And I will agree with you. It really shows the kind of friendships you can have in sim racing and in online gaming in general. I've made quite a few of them. In fact, one of them I invited over to the U.S. from Denmark a couple of times, and he has enjoyed every single second of it. And happy to see him that not only did he enjoy it as a vacation or hanging out with friends, but he got himself into a bit of a better mental state.
Blinking car, bad blinking car. Sorry. Didn't mean to cut you off, but there's a bad. I don't know who that was. But they were in front of the leader, Yoshikawa. Yoshikawa, I think, got distracted, highly distracted. It was a bad blinking. Now he has Gavin Sanders right directly on him. This is a battle for the lead. Yeah, so the bonds that we build here in sim racing, I mean, they're real. I mean, I know drivers when I first started in the offline leagues back in the 90s that I'm still friends with today. That's, going on 25 plus years. So the bonds that build, this is one of those sports that, there are real people behind these cars in the virtual world. And there's a pass for lead. And those I could not have done anything to really, really help my dad without the help of Dan there in Costa Rica.
Yeah, it really is a beautiful thing, and you could be on the other side of the Caribbean Sea or on the other side of the Atlantic Ocean. You're still a friend at the end of the day. You're still a competitor too, but you're still a friend first and foremost.
And Nick Sudik, thanks for being a hero, Dan. Yeah, tell me about it.
Yeah, and to say nothing of his drive so far, 27th to 14th so far for the 444 of Dan Morea. Great job so far, and
13th,
trying to put pressure on Nate Siefker in 13th right now.
Yeah, up 14 spots, Dan is. Of course, we still got a number of drivers. He stopped early on. He's on that alternate schedule. He stopped on lap 3. Same schedule as Sanders.
And Sanders has gotten around Yoshikawa for the race lead.
Yeah, but Yoshikawa
finally got the pass done.
Yeah, I believe Yoshikawa was distracted by that flashing car. I'm not sure who that is. Yoshikawa has not stopped. Matt Johnson has not stopped. Jared Wakefield has not stopped. Matt Schlosser has not stopped. And back in 17th,
and Yoshikawa's coming in.
Kyle Allen has not stopped either, but Yoshikawa now in for his first stop. So he is probably going to go long short, I would imagine.
Sounds about right to me, whereas Sanders is going short, long.
And there's Jared Wakefield. So they've all reached the extent of their fuel run here. Gavin Sanders is your leader, starting to pull away a little bit. But again, Mitch doesn't really have to race him hard because he could be due in here in about 3 laps, Gavin Sanders. So we'll see how this shakes out. Welker, P2, there he is. Caleb Bency has worked his way up while we were talking. He worked it around his teammate. He is now up to P3, and now we got a battle of the champions now brewing at the front. Gavin, the inaugural champion. Mitch Welker, the Season 4 champion. And Caleb Bency, the defending champion, Season 5 champion.
Definitely got a lot of superstar talent out here tonight, and they've been putting on a great performance too. Sanders once again back in the race lead, but we'll see how this strategy call plays out. The number I'm kind of looking for is 22 laps to go. If Sanders comes in after that point, he could be good to go on fuel here if Yoshikawa's run was any indication.
Yoshikawa's out of 8th, yep. Yeah,
because of course Yoshikawa... both Yoshikawa and Sanders, no doubt, they were putting up in map 8, just coasting around under the safety car as Sanders locked up a little bit in his battle with Welker.
He has Joey Clements right in front of him, so Joey must have stopped and has fallen down in the field a little bit. But that's they should, I believe, a lot of these drivers do kind of work together in the same channel, so he might be working in the same channel with Joey. So Joey's probably aware of his presence there. But he does not want to lose any time. There's Joey going wide. Yeah, so very well planned, well timed.
Good stuff there as Welker has to go around the outside
next
there.
Next up is Ty Richter. I haven't talked about Ty in a while. Good to see Ty back. I've raced with him as a teammate a couple times. So Ty and that number 22 in the orange ride there.
And
or the
he
55,
himself has gained a few spots as well. He's gone from
14th, 14 spots, 15,
yeah, from 36th to 21st as it stands. Of course, that may well change. I'm watching as everything gets updated. Of course, being a truly enormous field, it does take some time for data to be processed for the leaderboards, at least on my on the standard iRacing display that I'm currently using. But Sanders still holding on to the point here. Welker 7/10 back here. It's still a pretty tight battle, but we're looking at a lot of other battles back through the field. I'm seeing, seeing Schlosser, I think, just pitted there, but Cody Claiborne in the Fish car trying to run down Hunter Engrav, who's had a torrid night so far. It's just been one bad shot, one bad moment after another here. It's just been kind of miserable, really. But even then, still running P5 though. And that's what persistence will get you, I'll say.
So now we have Gavin coming up to another teammate of his, or at least an associate of his, so I'm sure they'll be talking about it in the Scarlet, right there in the RaceVerse car. And that will, I'm assuming they'll make that a synchronized pass there for maximum effort. Unless Gavin needs to stop, we'll see Gavin to the inside. Gavin is going to stop. So that turns the lead back over to Welker. And P2 now becomes Caleb Binsey, who's back a ways. Binsey's back 11 seconds at the moment.
So it is about 22 laps to go for Gavin Sanders. This is going to be right on the cusp of what he needs for fuel mileage here. It's going to be interesting to see what kind of... he's going to have to save fuel a little bit, I think, but he's also going to have to fight off Mitch Welker's advances. This is going to be quite a tussle, I think, going into the closing stages of this race.
AJ Digby on pit road. We see Cody Claiborne on pit road. His teammate, Dakota Mate, on pit road. So second round stops are occurring. And now Mitch Welker is encountered IndyCar Scarlet. Now, this won't be a coordinated pass.
Yeah, very much not. Yeah, Welker and Scarlett, they don't really work with each other all that often, and I'm sure that Sanders is going to be cheering, block him, block him, block him. But, whoa, big twitchy moment for IndyCar Scarlett. Welker does get the pass done there. May have held him up a little bit, and that may have helped a little bit in itself, but the main way that he's going to hold him off is going to be by running the track and really by not overdoing himself, and also keeping an eye on that fuel gauge.
Yeah, and we were riding along with Welker on down the Vane Straight there over his shoulder on the in-car cam, and he was on the button. So he is pushing very hard in this time where he is the leader, and he knows that he needs to build up the delta, because when he stops, he wants to come out in front of Gavin. Gavin is back underway. He is in the 5th spot at the moment. Clean track pretty much all around them. He is 1.6 up to Ingrave. There you see Ingrave right there, just in the front of him. There it is.
Yep.
There's
Gavin Sanders.
And Yoshikawa, he's clear of Yoshikawa by about 2.4 at the moment.
Yeah, and Yoshikawa nearly 9 seconds ahead of Sam McDougall at the moment. Still a fantastic run there by the 13 machine. The leader in the amateur division. McDougall kind of a bit of a breakout star in this newly created division here. Really great run so far. 18th to 7th so far. Though he's got Matt Johnson to contend with. And yes, he has been found again.
Still, the purple lap belongs to Mitch Welker with a 1:19.345. We still have 30 cars running, so we have a jam-packed track right now at the moment. 19 cars on the lead lap. Kyle Allen is the last car on the lead lap at the moment. Let's see what we got going on here. Buttons, pushes of the button left. Mitch Welker has 6. Caleb
cars
Binsey,
spun around.
Yeah, I'm not sure who that was. Kyle Allen?
Was it? Going back to see who that was. That was a car stopped at the end of at the exit of Hugenholtz. That was the 28 machine.
That's the problem when you first race, when you don't recognize all the liveries and everything. It's tough to get some of these moments down.
That was Mario Capellucci in the 28 who lost it at the exit of Hugenholtz, at the exit of turn 3. Was running 18th at that point, and we're down to 20 cars, half the field left on the lead lap at the moment. That's just showing the really blistering pace that these leaders, Welker and Sanders, have been running tonight.
Drew Such on pit road for his stop. I will move him out of the top 10 or near the top 10, and he is down and away. So go back to push of the buttons. Welker with 6. Binsey with 9, Logan Spath with 7, Hunter Ingrave with 9, Gavin Sanders. He's used his up quite a bit, and he's on the back end of Ingrave. Ingrave's going to let him go, so move Sanders up to 4th. But Gavin Sanders has 5 pushes of the button left. Yoshikawa 7. Sam McDougall he has not hit the button at all. Either he has not mapped it, or he's just close on a mileage and choosing not to use it, or maybe he doesn't need it. It is push to pass and also push to defend, but you're not entitled to use them if you don't have to. Matt Johnston 6, Jared Wakefield has 9, and Schlosser in 10th has 3 presses of the button left.
Yeah, and that's really also kind of a game in of itself. Is you only have 10 chances of push to pass here, and you have to pick the right time at the right place to make the most of that extra boost down the straightaway. And that's going to be, and like you said, it's a push to pass, but it's also push to defend. And you see so often, like especially if this lead battle between Sanders and Welker really starts to heat up at the end of this race, I guarantee you there's going to be no push to passes left on either of those race cars by the time the checkered flag waves.
Oh, Welker, the leader by 17 seconds, almost 18 seconds over Benzie.
Yeah, 18-second gap right now over Caleb Benzie as Benzie goes over the line here. Benzie was actually a bit faster than Mitch Welker on that last lap, but 21 even to Welker's 21-2. So it's not like it's it's not like it's all like pulling a Max Verstappen on everybody at the moment for Mitch Welker, which was kind of what I think a lot of us may have expected tonight, because Welker, the undisputed race wins leader in the Formula Indy Series, and won a championship a couple of seasons back in convincing fashion, and showing that he's still got the pace here, but it's also showing that a lot of his competitors did not take his performance that season lying down.
Yeah, Gavin Sanders has 7 wins in the FIS. He is second all-time, and Caleb Benzie 6 in the FIS. He's third all-time. So we got the first, second, and third all-time wins leaders here in the series, currently in first, second, and fourth.
Yeah, you've got a lot of... it really shows just how great the competition really is when you have multiple champions and all of them compete against each other week after week after week. As Welker now works his way around a lap car here. That banking there in turn 3 is always a lot of fun. Doesn't matter what car it is. It's tricky, it's fun, and it really, I think, is a welcome upgrade to Circuit Zandvoort when the Dutch Grand Prix came back a few years ago.
And, of course, everyone was waiting for iRacing to scan it and get it in there, and they finally did.
Including me. Yeah, I was one of those, I was surprised it didn't happen sooner when the upgrades were announced, even because these upgrades were years in the making to Zandvoort, even before the Dutch Grand Prix made its triumphant return for the first time since the 1980s, would you believe? And I was expecting that to pop up again, because car spun behind them, behind the race leaders there.
Kyle
Who is that?
Allen, Drew. Jesus.
I know.
It's Sebastian Gianni. Sorry about that. Yeah, it's trying to get these memorize these liveries. It's always a problem in the first race. We'll get it down. No worries.
On pit road. Welker in for his last stop of the day. Down to his box. Up on the jacks he goes. I'm keeping an eye right now on Gavin Sanders. He's the man to watch. Coming through Ari Lyondike corner. Down the front stretch. Welker gets underway. He may have it here. I think he does. He has actually got it by quite a bit, I think. And Sanders, wow, it's actually quite a considerable gap there. Back to Gavin Sanders there. So what a drive again by Mitch Welker.
Almost 3 seconds, 2.6 seconds really, but and a lap car in between, which I believe it's Ty Richter.
Beautifully done by Mitch Welker. He did everything he needed to do, and he's gotten himself the edge. But Gavin Sanders now getting around and having to deal with Hunter Engrav is trying to hold him off there, and now trying to run down Logan Spath for third. Their teammates, of course. No, they're not. Their teammates, I remember, if I remember right, is Sanders and Spath.
Associates.
Yeah, associates.
Yeah. In other words, they're working together.
They're friendly. They're friendly with each other, and same can be said for Caleb Bensi right now, still running in second place, and actually, no, he's going to be the race leader as it stands. But now I see that number one machine coming onto pit road.
And I believe his teammate's coming with him. Logan is. So that's going to turn the race lead over to Mitch Welker. And, folks, that might be the last pass you see for the race here unless something happens to Welker here in the last 13 laps. 14 laps.
And it really shows, how good Mitch Welker has become in these Indy cars over the years. He's always been a fantastic driver. When the first time I raced against him was in the Fuel IndyCar Series back after it was once known as the International Open Wheel Series. It was a series I had a lot of fun in. Mitch Welker came into that series, and he just really showed his stuff immediately. I had a great battle with him that season, and he has only gotten stronger since. The competition has certainly gotten stronger too, but Mitch Welker rises to the challenge. We'll see how well he holds on in these last 12 laps or so.
There is Gavin Sanders right there, P2. Hunter Ingrave is P3, just kind of pacing himself off of Sanders at the moment. He kind of lit Sanders by, but now he's just kind of pacing himself behind, so he's not letting him out of his sight. Oh, he sent it into that corner in turn one. He got really close.
Yeah. But now Sanders up into P2. 3.8 seconds back between him and Mitch Welker. I'm keeping
got an eye on somebody.
Looking at Logan Spath trying to run down Matt Johnston at the moment. This is the battle for 7th place. And Johnston, I think he sees Spath coming up in his mirrors and he's thinking to himself, oh dear, here we go again. Yeah,
so in that tight corner 3, the high banked, slower of the two high banked corners, we see a lot of people kind of go up to the top. How much grip is up there, or is it not a lot of grip and you got to really take it nice and easy up through there?
Depending on the car you're in, the main thing there is throttle control. And his contact that was fast sends Johnston into the wall.
Oh, and Johnston, I think he had a wheel spin on the corner exit there, and Spath was on it a little bit harder and got right into the back of him, but that's going to cost him a front wing.
Yeah, and probably a bit more than that. And it doesn't look like a bit of wheel slip there. It looked like may have been a bit of an error there on Logan Spath.
Okay, Ingram is in pit road right now. Spath he's got 8 seconds back to Johnson, 9 seconds back to Johnston now.
And a damaged front wing to boot for Logan Spath.
Does he? I'd say keep going. I'd say keep going. He probably knows, but he should keep going. Hunter Ingrave is coming out in 7th, right behind now the wounded Logan Spath. So if I was Logan, I'd let probably Hunter go and just kind of nurse this thing home. He might get a top 10 out of this. He might get a top 10 out of this if he doesn't stop.
And Jared Wakefield not happy with someone at the moment. As I heard over the radio, running in 15th place. Again, very solid run for the 725 machine from 31st to 15th. As side by side, is that Indica Scarlet? Contact. It was Indica Scarlet.
Yeah, gave
and that Indica, was not for position either.
Gave Indica a little bit of how do you do?
Yeah, a little bit of a nudge there, and I'm sure. Especially since that was not for position. Indica Scarlet, 8 laps down. She suffered damage early on in this race in that major pileup we looked at earlier. But, I'm sure Wakefield none too pleased with that one, and he let it be known on the radio.
Okay, Cody in front of him. We got Matt Schlosser and Nate Seifert. So Seifert's very quietly moved himself up into the top 10. But this is a battle for 9th with Seifert right behind him on the button.
And just breezes by him, does
Car
Nate
sideways
Seifert.
in turn 1. That's McDougal. I think it's
That was Tanner
Fabus. Sorry, they're both very similar looking cars.
And I was actually just about to say, DeFabis was doing a really good job after his early troubles. He was back up into the top, up into a top 10 position there, and this has really hurt him there.
Cody Claiborne with a strong run there, and he gets the position. So now Hunter Ingrave is getting around Spath, as we figured he would. Seifert now, we talked about a very quiet race. He's up 3 spots. He did not have a good start. He was back in the mid 15s, almost a 20th or so, and it's kind of come back.
Contact there.
Where?
DeFabis and Cody Claiborne. DeFabis kind of gave him a little nudge there.
All right.
Looks like everyone made it through okay. No debris flying anywhere. No rear wing damage on Claiborne. No front wing damage on DeFabis. But this is getting a little bit chippy here at the moment, as DeFabis really trying to make up any sort of time he can after that incident.
So Seifert is a former series champion. So the series champions, as Randy Macho Man Savage used to like to say, the cream always rises to the top.
DeFabis now coming onto pit road. I think he's worried about the damage he has on his car. I'm not seeing any disappearing front wing on that car there, but he probably feels something different as he now comes into the pits.
Matt Johnston looks done. He must have had some more damage than we thought, or maybe... looks like DeFabis had a little bit of a front wing crinkle there, and that got corrected itself when they got a new set, and we got a new wing put on his car. Fighting a lot of wheel spin there on pit exit. Dan Marrera and Dakota DeMade. That's a battle for 11th, and this 11th and 12th.
Yep, and Dan Marrera still moving up through the ranks still. Up to 12th from 27th. Dakota DeMade relatively holding station to where he was.
Up 3
one
spots.
spot from where he started.
I got him up 3, but yeah, he's had a good run, a consistent run. We got 10 laps to go. Welker is your leader. Let's reset the field here with 10 laps to go. We'll try to get on some key battles here in the top 10 before we run out. Again, if we try to get through the field here, but 40 cars are not going to be at every battle, so we're trying to get the key ones. Welker is your leader. Gavin Sanders is P2. Yoshikawa very quietly and a very consistent run up to 3rd. He is being chased down by Bensi, who has a that's Kevin Bonomi that he got around there. And if we're going to say your name wrong, just let us know in the FIS Discord. Hunter Ingrave is P5, and you're right, he's had a bad day, but he's recovered reasonably well. I think a top 5 for him out of today is probably a reason to celebrate.
I would agree.
With everything that he's had. Logan Spath, the one-wing angel currently running right now, he is P6. He has quite a gap back to Nate Seifert. That is one of the defending champs that we talked about. He is P7, worked his way up 3 spots, but a little bit further on back because of the start of the race. I think he got shuffled out a little bit. Matt Schlosser, P8. He's up 7 spots. Cody Claiborne, P9, right where he started, but he's remained consistent. And Sam McDougal is P10, up 8 spots to where he is right now. So the amateur class has cracked the top portion of the top 10. And actually, Matt Schlosser, Claiborne,
Seifert on pit road.
That's kind of why I was wondering what the move of position was. Yeah, Seifert going to give up the top 10. See if Dakota's going to get him. Dakota will get him. Can Dakota hold on to it? And I think right behind Dakota is... Who's behind Dakota?
I see Jared Wakefield.
Zach Flaum. One of the hosts with the most here.
Yeah.
He's now the believe one of the admins here in FIS.
As everyone shuffles out here, and the battle between McDougal and Claiborne getting intense right now for 9th place. Claiborne leading that battle, I should say. McDougal looking everywhere he can. McDougal's had a very solid night so far, and we'll see how everything goes after the cycle of pit stops officially ends, or really, frankly, when the checkered flag comes out. But in any way you slice it, McDougal's had a fantastic showing here. He's been running consistently in the top 10 all day and really been the flag bearer for the amateur class tonight.
Hey, you want to shout them out before we get too late in the race? Track cams are provided by Track Cam Gourmet. Check them out at trackcam22.com. And you too can get your own custom track cams for whatever track you like. Check them out. They will be a partner of ours all season long on all broadcasts. And then we got a battle coming out of turn 3 for this battle for 7th.
Here comes McDougal looking all over the gearbox of Cody Claiborne at the moment. Very hard to make a pass work here. Is not going for it, of course. McDougal trying to get the run any way he can. Coming to a very good spot to make a pass here. Ooh, big twitch there as he sends it down the inside right now on Cody Claiborne. Not quite enough.
Cody gave him room.
He did. He definitely did. As, Claiborne trips wide there and contact made. McDougal saves it, though.
Very wisely backed out. Good job, guys.
Beautifully done there by Sam McDougal. Not quite what he wanted there, but it could have been a heck of a lot worse.
Matt Schlosser is going to be creeping into this battle here soon.
Yeah, keep an eye on the number 400 behind them. This battle is really letting Schlosser lick his chops at the moment to see what could possibly become of this. This could be a free spot, maybe 2 free spots if things ultimately go to pot here. Lap 41. Through Tarzan. McDougal trying to get the launch off the corner any way he can here, and Claiborne trying to play defense at the moment. Running way up high, all the way up onto the green AstroTurf. Getting the launch through these very fast S's. Again, not really a place I would expect a pass to be made, but you've got to carry the momentum through here, and Claiborne running very wide there.
Yeah, keeping the momentum up, though.
Yeah. Seems to be holding on to that exit momentum through there, and that's really what you want to do when you're in defense mode like this. You want to get as good an exit as you humanly can, and also prevent the guy from behind you from getting a run.
We got a battle brewing for 3rd now.
Bensi and Yoshikawa. Keeping an eye on it. Bensi about half a second faster on that last lap than the 198. Getting closer and closer. That's going to be a one to watch out for when it comes down to the last few laps for certain. That battle between Claiborne and McDougal still holding steady at the moment as well. But I'm looking right now at Caleb Bensi.
Those rotors light up.
Yeah, and this track can be a tricky one on brakes, that's for certain.
McDougal has not used the push to pass. He probably could make a pass here if he used one. He might not have the button mapped.
Maybe so, and that could explain a few things on Sam McDougal's end there. He actually tried to look low side into turn number 3. Very tricky place to do that, and Yoshikawa on the radio, not sure if that means he's coming into pit this late.
Well,
is that going to be so?
He's
he
off
is
the
coming
banking,
in.
and so he's going to give the bottom step of the podium up to Caleb Bensi.
Move the defending series champion up into P3. Solid showing right now. Definitely good points to get for a championship run, but Mitch Welker once again showing why he is one of the top talents in this series for certain.
Go for Yoshikawa. He's back underway. He just needed enough fuel to get him home for the final 5 laps.
Yep, that was definitely the tricky part with the fuel map, with the fuel numbers as close as they are to
Logan Spath
effectively being
around.
able to make it on one stop.
Logan Spath gets around him with the busted wing, so let's see if Logan can hold him off.
That's going to be very interesting to see as Logan Spath's been running in the
Mitch Welker ran up on a lap car really quick, and Jared Wakefield, I thought he was going to run into the back of him and he managed to not do that. But now we're coming to 4 to go.
4 laps remaining. Mitch Welker over 6-second gap back to Gavin Sanders. But I'm keeping an eye on the battle right now for 7th. McDougal and Claiborne, this is still not relented.
Yeah, Gavin was within 3 seconds at one point, and I think he encountered lap traffic that just wasn't yielding very well, and he has since then lost a lot of what he tried to gain back, but he's definitely has second place well in hand. It's 11 seconds back to Bency.
Oh, Sam McDougal lit up the rear tires there trying to run down Cody Claiborne.
Right.
Catches the slide, though.
Siefker back in the top 10. We just saw him get around Schlosser there for a second.
Up into 9th, at least 9th place is Nate Siefker at the moment. Good drive so far for him. But as I'm looking at this here, Sam McDougal doing everything in his power to run down Cody Claiborne. Claiborne's been playing it pretty steady at the moment, but I think you may be right. If the push to passes haven't been used at this point, he may well not have the button mapped. And I imagine it's going to be tricky for him to get the runs there. He's basically banking on...
Yeah, and Cody has 5. So, I mean, if he needed to, he could definitely defend fairly easily. On the straights, that is, provided he doesn't, miss a corner or braking spot. Of course, when you do use push to pass, that makes you move a little bit faster, and you run the risk of overshooting your braking spot.
Indeed, true. And speaking of people who I'm surprised haven't missed their braking spot, Logan Spath, again with the broken front wing there, trying to hold off Nagisa Yoshikawa, trying to defend down low. Yoshikawa making the run out here. He's going to try around the outside. This is for 5th place.
Yeah.
Getting the run around the Tarzan hairpin.
And he's going to have
does so.
Good shot. Yeah,
done.
and he's going to have position for the next corner. So good battle by both those guys.
Great job, Nagisa Yoshikawa up in the 5th place. And honestly, great driving by Logan Spath right now because, speaking from experience, it ain't easy driving one of these Indy cars with a broken front wing. With McDougal, he's once again on the gearbox of Cody Claiborne.
This is your closest battle this is your closest battle in the top 10. We're going to keep it here. We'll get the Mitch Welker here when he takes the white flag.
This battle really hasn't let up in the slightest. Sam McDougal has been a star tonight. He's been driving fantastically. But Claiborne in optimal position at the moment and can defend pretty well. He just needs to not make a mistake. But Sam McDougal is really doing everything in his power. Really getting a lot of things right so far. He just needs that one little thing there. He sends it down the inside of the airplane. Only in contact. Claiborne with a broken rear wing.
Wow. Whoa. And that was a lot of net code. He just morphed right through that car. But unfortunately, it killed the back wing of Claiborne. And that is going to be, I don't know if he can handle, he might be able to make these next 2 laps, but he's going to struggle.
That is going to be a big ask, I think, for Cody Claiborne. The fish car is limping.
Nate Siefker sees blood in the water directly in front of him. And then shout out to Nick Sudik. He's giving a shout out to Jared Wakefield. Up 20 spots up to P11. They're getting a little wide there on corner exit. Right behind him.
Claiborne sideways through turn 2 and turn 3. Man, he is having to fight that car more than anything else.
There might be more than just a broken rear wing on that car. So
that rear wing is close to falling off at this point. Nate Siefker breezes by him, thankfully without incident. Next one to try is Dakota DeMade as Claiborne gets on the grass there from going sideways.
Well, DeMade is his teammate, so they're probably on the radio saying, man, I'm having issues. I'm going to try to stay out of your way.
I think that would be the diplomatic way of putting what may be going on the radio there. But Claiborne fighting this car to get to the finish in some semblance of a good position here.
All right,
Dakota
final lap.
DeMay
And
creeps up on him.
right behind this entire battle, there is Mitch Welker. As we have, they've lapped up to P11.
And this is the last lap of the race. Mitch Welker. The more things change, the more they stay the same, as working around Cody Claiborne here. Mitch Welker.
Good move by Cody
We saw him dominant about 2 years ago at this point. We missed the whole year of competition, and the competition has only gotten better since then, it seems. But Mitch Welker, the cream rises to the top once more. Fantastic drive. The number 76 gets the win at Zandvoort. Welcome back, Formula Indy Series.
And now that winning percentage is better than 73%.
Indeed it is. Gavin Sanders in P2. Caleb Bensi
Coming
will
off
come off the Ari
final
Lyndike corner for P3. A solid title defense so far for the defending series champion.
Hunter Ingrave, go get that top 5.
P4, after everything that has happened for the 49 machine, he just kept on trucking and he got himself a top 5.
Yoshikawa, and that's a blinking Hayden Herman behind him. That's who that is finally there. So Yoshikawa, a great run up 6 spots on the last push of the button for him. Finishes Winchester. All of them sort of smoked right now. He is going to finish 5th. Spath going to bring home a wounded car 6th, with McDougal coming around the final corner. McDougal will get the 7th spot.
And that is the amateur class win, but probably in a very controversial fashion, I would think.
Here comes Seifert, very quietly getting a top 10 here, finishing 8th. Good finish for him. And Dakota DeMay now off the banking of the final corner, coming down for P9. Jared Wakefield up 21 spots to P10. And Cody Claiborne, we'll see if he just the little engine that could. Let's get this thing around, Cody. Let's get it. Let's get it. Let's get it. Keep going. Keep going. I think that might be Mitch behind him for the cool down lap. Come on, Cody.
He's just going to give him a little bump draft. Oh, never mind. He's not. But a valiant effort for sure from Cody Claiborne those last few laps there. The race, he did finish 1 lap down, but overall, that was a fight at the end of that race there. Sad to see that happen to Cody there. That battle I thought was going to go all the way to the checkers, but McDougal saw a gap and took it, but it closed pretty quickly there, I think. Netcode was definitely a factor, though.
All right. Let's get in the final results for tonight from Zandvoort. Mitch Welker, more things change, more things stay the same, is your winner. His 12th career win. Gavin Sanders, P2. Caleb Bensi, P3. Hunter Ingrave, great top 5 finish, P4. Yoshikawa, P5. Logan Spath survives to P6. Sam McDougal, P7. Secret, P8. Dakota DeMay, P9. And Jared Wakefield, P10. Your top 15, Claiborne, Schlosser, Sadlev, Morera, great finish for him in 14th, and Bonimi in 15th. Such Allen, Capicelli, I hope I'm saying that right again. Let us know if we're saying that wrong. Mario there at 18th, Joey 19th, Ty Richter 20th, Ruval, Herman, Flaum, Digby, DeFabis, Johnson, Oak, Scarlett, Costello, Ganiti, your top 30. As Salvino, Sherlock, Short, Harlow, Franchica, Kresge, Saavedra, Patahar, Daly, Miglin, Reardon. A lot of those of that first lap incident, halfway through the lap actually, coming out of 3 through 4. They were taken out. A lot of those guys are from that incident. That rounds out the remainder of this huge, huge field. 41 cars. All right, so and we got a Indica Scarlet still in the game. Let's see if we can get a side view of the car. It's a RaceVerse car, and maybe get a good view of it. I don't think we're going to get a good view. There we go. The RaceVerse car. There we go. All right. And let's bring up our third place finisher, Caleb Binsey. The defending champ is in the house. P3, good to have you back. It has been a long time, my friend. Congratulations. I know you wanted more, but it just wasn't in the cards today.
Yeah, first of all, it has been way too long that we've been able to do this. So, yes, very, very happy to be back here. But, yeah, I mean, all things considered, I'm not too upset. Yeah, the start didn't go great. Lost a spot, just kind of messed up the start a bit, and then was trying to get Hunter be pretty aggressive because I think he was on blacks there at the start, so just got a little too loose on one of the curbs and almost lost it, caught it, and then unfortunately lost another spot and then just got absolutely punted from behind. So was dealing with some diffuser damage from that point on, but thankfully it wasn't too bad. But that first corner after, I didn't know if I had a rear wing on or anything, so thankfully it was just a little bit under tray stuff. So I guess considering all that, I'll take a podium for race 1.
Go ahead, Steven.
Yeah, that was there was definitely a lot of chaos, especially early on in the going there. But what do you but seeing how well both Mitch and Gavin performed there, do you think this result is going to be one? Do you think this result is going to be one of the keystones, you think, to a title defense this year?
Yeah, I think so. I mean, like you said, there was a lot of carnage and incidents. I mean, this track in particular is really tough to keep it underneath you, let alone racing with other people. So, yeah, I think just not making any big mistakes that cost you too much, because inevitably you're gonna have bad races and stuff. So, yeah, Gavin had pace on top of the strategy, but made a good call there under that yellow to then try to jump with some fuel saving and take a stop out. So, again, like I said, I think considering all the things that kind of went against me there early on, and you know, it could have gone downhill pretty quickly. So definitely good to get a podium and set up a decent championship fight here.
Well, next up is the House of Stowe, Mid-Ohio. I would assume you're looking forward to that and getting back even closer to this championship run. So thoughts of going to Mid-Ohio?
Yeah, home track. Very, very, very excited. I feel like we've been probably doing this for like 4-ish years now, and I think I've probably had 2 like league races there, 2, 3. So yeah, very, very excited to get there. It's been a while, obviously, but we've done a lot of laps here just for fun, and yeah, hopefully that translates to some decent speed. But yeah, I mean, good momentum definitely to carry in there as well today.
Shout outs. I'm assuming the fam is watching.
Yep, as always.
Good to have you back, fam. Good to be here. Go ahead, shout outs. You know the drill.
Yeah, I know we're not technically in the Team RaceVerse car anymore, but obviously still happy to rep the RaceVerse logos all over the car. And as you pointed out, I know the fam was happy to be back on RaceVerse and stuff too, and hang out with you guys and tune into another IndyCar race. So thanks to you guys as always. Amigo Secura, if you're ever in the Stowe area, go check them out. Fantastic Mexican food and Blossom Road flowers. Yeah, all the above. And family and friends that are watching, thank you as always. It's almost over a year and a few months since we've
November. I think the date that I had in the intro was November 1st of 2022 is the last broadcasted race.
Yep, exactly. So just happy to be back in front of all you guys racing and stuff. So and yeah, good way to start the season. Yeah,
it's good to be here. Congratulations on the P3. Hello to the fam, and we'll catch you at the House of Stowe next week.
Yep, thanks a lot, guys. See you.
Well, let's bring up Gavin. There he is. Hey, Gavin, congratulations on the P2. Slightly different pit strategy, so let's talk about that right off the bat. You decided to go in and get rid of those alternate tires right at lap 3 in that full course yellow. What was your thinking there? Just doing something that different that everyone else is not doing?
It was probably in part trying to switch it up and give myself an opportunity to make the most of a different strategy that no one else was really thinking about.
Right.
But at the same time, I think if I full pushed on red tires for a full stint, I probably would have wrecked. So in hindsight, this was a great idea.
Yeah.
Not a lot of faith in the Reds. Well, let's talk about pace. Did you have anything for Mitch, or was just another that I just hang on the second because Mitch has got too much in the tank for us today?
I think if he was kind of put in a different spot to maybe go on a different strategy, I wasn't really sure where he was going to go from his primary stint. I didn't know if he was going to go short and go double primary, but he didn't say he went long. Obviously, he went to the alternates. So then he was able to just push in general and get ahead of me. So at that point, I was trying my best, but I hadn't really. I thought I saved enough, but at that point I was still again trying to make up a few extra half gallons here and there, so it kind of put me in a spot to pace myself, and then next thing you know, he pulled out the entire pit window. So I mean, kudos to him for doing that, and obviously if I had sat there behind him, it probably would have been pretty much the same result anyways, so at least I had fun entertaining myself for an hour.
Yeah.
Steven, you got anything for the champ?
One thing I'm wondering here is next time out we're going to Mid-Ohio, of course, and I'd argue in a lot of ways Mid-Ohio carries a lot of similarities driving-wise to Zandvoort. Not quite as high banking as Zandvoort is, but I can see a lot of similarities there. And do you think that this could be that Mid-Ohio could be a way to like polish up on what we learned here at Zandvoort this week?
I definitely say that a lot of people who are potentially new to the series, or again, everybody's getting back to the IR18. So I'd say that this was definitely helpful in prep for Mid-Ohio, because it's a bit of a mind blender in terms of a racetrack. So I think backing up braking zones and getting good exits and managing your tires and everything is really important there. So I mean, I'm cautiously optimistic, but
yeah.
I think tonight was a decent example of what FIS was, and it's only going to get better from here. So all around good time, and yeah, Mid-Ohio, it will be fun. I could see a similar bunch of strategies and maybe a full course yellow coming out. So
Yeah.
there's always the odd chance for that. So.
Well, it's been a while. It's good to have you again, but you know the drill, man. Shout outs.
Big thank you to Team Melamo Esports New DLC. We are New DLC, not what is it again? Legacy. Buy EchoBlade on Steam. I don't know if you've done it or not, but I have. Buy EchoBlade on Steam. Just do it. Thank you. Don't ask questions. You'll be better off in general. Have a nice night. Thank you, Synthetic Games. Thank you, the Formula Indy Series, Zach, Caleb, Logan, for bringing this back. It's awesome. I'm super excited for the next 10 weeks, and yeah, we're gonna kick some butt. And obviously, thanks to you guys for still being committed to this. I mean, it's been a really long year, and I think we're all just happy to be back. So thanks for sticking around.
All right, well, good to have you back up in the booth. It's been a while since we last spoke, so congratulations, and we'll see you in a week.
Thanks, guys. See you in a week.
If we have another 40 cars, can they fit 40 cars on the front straight there for a standing start at Mid-Ohio, or are they going to be going around the carousel?
They are definitely going to be going around the carousel there. That front straightaway in Mid-Ohio is tiny.
Oh yeah, well, we're gonna have to see have to see some strategy play out. Maybe a pit road start there might not be a bad idea. Let's bring up our winner and our champion from 2 seasons ago, Mitch Welker. Here he is, Mitch Welker in the booth. Congratulations. More things change, more things say the same. Or as Nick Sadiq says, death, taxes, and Mitch Welker in the FIS. Congratulations. Tell us about your race.
Thank you much. It was as smooth as we could ask for it to be, pretty much. I devised the strategy. Me and Mike executed. Nothing has changed. We just buckled down and did the same that we always have, and worked out well for us. You know, a couple error and lap cars here and there. That safety car also was a little bit of a wrench thrown into things, but we just stuck with what we knew, and yeah, that's about it.
Yeah, how is that? I mean, what potentially could have happened with the safety car? We really don't strategize in road course races for the safety car very often because, well, frankly, we don't see it very often. But today was one of those days we saw it. how does that potentially impact your strategy?
Well, I thought it was a little bit early to do anything with at that point. If it were going to be like a couple laps longer safety car period, or if it came out a couple laps later, I would have debated going on to the prime tire to cut out a stop. Gavin, however, did a good job with the fuel save. He did take the opportunity to fuel up under that yellow and did a good job with the fuel save and got a good result out of it. So, it's just thinking about the fuel window for the most part when a safety car comes out, and where you are on tires. But in this case, I just didn't find it to be an overly advantageous thing to pit under it.
Gotcha. Steven, you got anything for the champ?
Well, I think one thing I wanted to ask, obviously, it seems kind of the spitting image performance-wise of what we saw in the FIS 2 years ago, but we've had a year of trials and tribulations in the IndyCar community, and what do you think was the main thing that really kept you going in the times that we were away? Was it just like enjoying the car, and or was it something else you think?
I actually did not run the car hardly at all when IndyCar stepped away from iRacing. I took a good while off, and I've just recently come back as the licenses come back. So, call me a bandwagoner, I guess. But I just felt like it was a natural break at the end of 2022, and but I feel as motivated as ever right now. So.
Good.
I mean, frankly, that's fair. I stepped away and did Formula 3 when we were on the break there, but it is great to see it come back, and it's great to see you come back too, and still as strong as ever, it seems.
Thank you much. Good to see you again as well.
Yep. Shout out to anybody want to say hi to. I think you had Mike helping you spot today.
Yeah, I mean, he doesn't spot; he just runs a strategy.
Okay.
So, but no, just point of clarification. But yeah, still a big help, and obviously thanks to him for running things with me. And big shout out to Jared, my teammate. Ran top 10 his first time out, had no practice because he had a sim issue. So, great run for him tonight.
Well, congratulations on the win. We're now batting better than 73%. I'll have to figure out what the new percentage is, but win number 12 in FIS history, extending your lead over, I think, Gavin now. You've doubled him up for league wins in league history, so congrats there. And off to Mid-Ohio next week, where the points championship will continue. Congratulations, and we'll see you at Mid-Ohio.
Thank you much. See you then.
Well, it's like, we've gone 6 seasons into the FIS here, and we've had a different champion each season, but we have right now at the top of this, it's like a triple threat match for the championship right now, where you have the inaugural champion, the defending champion, and it's almost like a second defending champion is racing right now, because Mitch didn't run a lot of what I call the season, the off season, the dark season, season 5. So it's almost like we have 2 defending champs back right at this point in time, and then we got, of course, the inaugural champion. So it's like a 3-way title bout going on right now, and we're only round 1 into this thing.
Yeah, and I have little doubt that that's going to keep going. I'm sure everyone here is hyped and ready to go, and I definitely think that this is going to be one of those really exciting seasons, I think, because you got a lot of talent in fast cars, and they are going to be having a ball fighting with each other, using any sort of trickery they can to gain an edge. And I'm personally stoked for Mid-Ohio. This is going to be great.
Well, don't forget, we'll throw up the Season 6 schedule one more time here and show you next week. We're off to, as I call the House of Stowe, Mid-Ohio Sports Car Course, then Long Beach, and we take some time off. We go to Gavin's home there at Canadian Tire Motorsports Park. Then across the pond to Brands Hatch, where we've been there before. Then on to Detroit. People seem to take a liking now to that place, since we're no longer running it for real in the NTT IndyCar Series. And then the month of May, literally the month of May for the FIS in Indianapolis, the only race all May long. It's a 120 lapper at Indianapolis. Then they return back to the road course portion of the schedule, which is Mugello, Interlagos, and finishing up at Road America June 20th. That is your schedule. Remember, practice starts at 8 o'clock for all these guys, but we'll be on the air about 8:50 to bring you through qualifying, to show you the points and bring you up to date from the previous race. And then the race pretty much will always start at 9 o'clock, give or take. Actually, it's going to be 9:05 because don't forget the 5-minute warm-up period there. So we needed every one of those 5 minutes to talk about today's starting lineup. 40 cars, man. These guys have a lot to be proud of to have a field that big. Anyways, that's it for tonight. Once again, your podium from Zandvoort is Mitch Welker, Gavin Sanders, Caleb Vincey. Can't tell you how many times I've said all three of those names in a closing outro. This seems to be natural to have those guys up on the podium. Join Steven and myself again next week as we head to the House of Stowe and Mid-Ohio for round 2. The Formula Indy Series coverage begins around 8:50 p.m. Eastern Time. Again, that's 8:50 p.m. Eastern. As always, you can find all the correct broadcast times in your area on YouTube at youtube.com/RaceVerse. Now, as you know, the YouTube algorithm game is not an easy one, so please help support RaceVerse with the weekly grind. Leave a comment below and let us know what you thought of tonight's race, and if you enjoyed tonight's coverage, support us by smashing like in the video. If you are new, click subscribe, and while you're at it, hit the bell for weekly reminders so you don't miss out more of RaceVerse's iRacing program. And we got a ton of it. It's either, Saturday IIS. We have IR05 racing and DW12 racing on Sundays. We have truck racing on Mondays. We got back to the top split on Tuesdays. We have DW12 racing on Wednesdays. And then we're back here on Thursdays. It doesn't stop, but you don't want to miss it. Just click the bell and we'll remind you every single week. Key through browser set here for the most in-depth IndyCar knowledge and all of iRacing. RaceVerse, we know what Indy means. For business inquiries and learn more about what we do, and I'll put this graphic at the bottom of the screen as well. There's all our Twitter handles. But for business inquiries and more what we do, visit raceverse.com, like us on Facebook, or follow all of us on Twitter. There's all of our handles. So, for Stephen Larkamp, everyone at RaceVerse, I am Gary Godson, the voice of the FIS, saying to all, good night and thanks for watching. And to our men and women serving in the military and its first responders, Godspeed, God bless, and come home safe. Catch us again next week from Mid-Ohio for the next race of the Formula Indy Series. Good night.